Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. I'm Carl here at Carl Saves You Guitar Tuition, and this ranking video today is going to be dedicated to Linkin Park. I'm making my way through all of the big 2000s bands, it seems, at the minute. We had Sum 41, we had Blink, we have Good Charlotte. Now we're talking about Linkin Park today, alright? So, this is obviously going to be spanning from 2000 to 2025, sort of that kind of 25-year period of the band. Mainly just the studio albums, none of the EPs or spin-offs or remixed albums, any of that sort of stuff. The main list of studio albums is what I'm focusing on for this list here today, alright? So this is once again, before I get started, I'm going to preface with, this is a worst to best list, but this is a band that I love, and these are albums that I love. So it's more so a worst to best list in terms of the ones that mean the most to me or the ones that I tend to revisit the most for whatever reason I tend to revisit it, okay? So just bear that in mind at all times with these videos. We're going to jump straight in. So worst, number 8 in this list for me is going to be Minutes to Midnight. And again, a great album, some really good songs on here, some really meaningful, emotional songs that I do actually really love and tend to revisit and come back to quite often. Unfortunately, it's just energy-wise, I feel like I want a more balance with that album. I feel like it's very almost like monotone across the board. And again, for me, what I need personally, Linkin Park album is just a little bit more energy, a little bit more dynamics, that sort of thing. So as an album, looking at it start to finish, it kind of drops off at moments and at times where I kind of wish it wouldn't. So unfortunately, that plus the time period it came out, like a few different things, it just didn't really impact me or hit me as much as some of the other Linkin Park albums have and do, alright? So number 7, next up on the list here, we have 1,000 Suns. So a little bit better. This, I only ever seen Linkin Park once, fortunately, with Chester, of course, which is amazing. And it was on the 1,000 Suns tour cycle in 2010. So I'm really grateful for that. And this album, at the time, I was a teenager. I was a lot more closed-minded musically. So at the time, I was kind of like, what the hell is this? This isn't Linkin Park. Where's the guitars? Where's the screaming? Where's this? Where's that? And I just didn't really get it, alright? But it's one of those albums where you revisit it 5-10 years later, whatever, you're a bit more mature, a bit older. I work in music, so it's like the exploration of music and things like that change a lot of things. And this album actually genuinely is a really good album. And I really appreciate and understand the experimentation and the different ideas and things that we're working with in this album. And it has some of the most solid Linkin Park songs on it ever. Most emotional ones to ever be on there that I really love and revisit a lot of the time. But unfortunately, because of the time period it came out and the style that it was at that time and things, it's just I can't hold it any higher in my own personal list of Linkin Park albums right now. Alright, so we've got number 6, again, an album I really love. And it's The Hunting Party. It's one of the most kind of solid Linkin Park albums, especially for the kind of latter career Linkin Park albums, I guess you could say. I really love the fact that they brought some of the heavier punk edge back, some of the guitars back, some of the more screaming back, kept the rapping there still. So they changed, always change, right? Linkin Park changes every album, but this was the first time they kind of did the rock thing for a while, I believe, before that. And so, yeah, I remember being pretty excited about that when it came out, and I really do love this album to this day. It's just there's other albums I like more generally, that's why it's kind of lower on the list, I would say. Number 5 is actually going to be Living Things. That might be controversial, I don't know. I feel like this is another one of the albums that a lot of people maybe don't like as much, I guess, especially versus like the early stuff that everyone always favors and puts first. Living Things is just a really solid... At the time, again, when it came out, I don't know if I quite understood it or quite got it. But going back, say, like 5 years later or whatever, I really understood it. I really got it. I really appreciate it. And it's actually an album that I'll tend to whack on and revisit quite often now, these days, alright? Number 4, again, controversial when it came out. Maybe not anymore since everything that's happened with the band since. But One More Light, I feel like is such a solid album. It's like the perfect length. It's one of the most consistent albums. Really good songwriting, really good meaningful lyrics. Yes, it's a pop album, or pop, it's kind of sounding and inspired and influenced, but it still doesn't take anything away from the album being as good as it is. And it's just, yeah, I wish it would get more recognition and more love, generally speaking. I love this album from the minute it came out, and I don't think everyone agreed or felt the same way, so it's one of those things. We're in the top 3 now, so these are the important albums, of course, right? So this is what it all comes down to. Controversial. This is definitely going to be controversial for many reasons, because I know how people feel about Emily and the whole post-Chester Linkin Park situation. But From Zero is going to be 3rd in my list. Mainly because it was just really amazing and beautiful and great to see the band come back and reform and do new music again and be a new version of the band, because I genuinely, me with a lot of other people, genuinely never, ever, 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 ever thought that would happen. I always thought that was the band done, that is that, and we move on, and it is what it is. So genuinely really awesome to see the band come back and release new music and do it the way they've done it. And I'm one of those people that I do think Emily's a great singer, great front person, great addition to the band. I have no issues or quarrels or problems with her place in the band or her vocals or anything like that. I'm just genuinely grateful and blessed that the band are back together. So that's why this is number 3 on my list. Number 2 is going to be Meteora, of course, right? It's always going to be Meteora, Hybrid Theory, right? Meteora's 2 on my list, obvious reasons, classic album, changed nu metal forever. Time period it came out was super impactful, solid front to back, the perfect blend of metal, heavy guitars, rapping, all of that sort of stuff. Arguably a better album than Hybrid Theory, and did it better than Hybrid Theory because the band were more mature and more experienced as a band and as musicians. But unfortunately, Hybrid Theory is still going to be number 1 on my list, purely just because of the impact and the influence and everything that came up and out from this album in terms of my life. And it really changed everything for me. I remember listening to this album on a CD player back in the day, on a portable CD player in the back of my mum's car. And it's just, yeah, I loved it. Changed my life. Couldn't have asked for a better album to get inspired into metal music. So that's my album right there. Number 1. Let me know what you think and let me know what you feel about Linkin Park's albums and as a whole, as a band. Thank you very much for watching, listening again, and I'll see you in the next video.